Rebellions are built on hope.
And welcome to another episode of Radio Rebellion, a Star Wars podcast. I'm your host, Alberto Calderon, and joining us again this week is our co-host this week, Oti1 Kenobi. Oti, welcome back. How you been doing these past couple of weeks?
I'm doing good.
Yeah?
Right. Yeah. I went to a wedding last week.
Oh, nice.
I went to the beach. I think I had like a throat infection, which went away. It's been very annoying, but I'm here. I'm alive.
Hey,
very busy at work, but
yeah.
Doing well.
Well, over here, classes are almost done, so my kids are getting ready to start summer vacation, which I guess is nice for them. And for us, they'll be home more often, but right now they're off. They're just, as teenagers or preteens do, as soon as they get home, they need to leave and be with their friends or go to the mall and ride the golf cart. So they're gone. And just, my wife is out there, I'm here. So
you have a golf cart?
Now. No, I don't. Don't worry about that.
Oh, okay.
One of their friends. We're gonna pick you up in a golf cart. Yeah. Oh well.
Good. Those are the cool kids.
Dude, I just had to. Yeah. You know what I spent? What a golf cart cost? I had to spend last week on a new air conditioner because it freaking broke down. I had to spend thousands of dollars, but at least I'm not.
Oh, because it's like a central unit.
Yeah, because they have to change the outdoor unit plus the furnace inside and everything. It's like a whole day they were here. And I'm not going to tell you how many paychecks I went that way right now. So at least I'm not sweating as summer's about to start. So that's good.
Yep.
All right. Thank you to everyone that's joining us today. If it's your first time, make sure you subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any new episode and this great banter that Oti and I always have. So comment down below all your thoughts on anything we're talking today or any other topic you want us to cover, and like this video. Hit that thumbs up button. See, Cam, first, thank you for being here, Cam. Your AC broke last week. And the thing is, every time I tell someone, hey, I just had to replace my air conditioner unit, they tell me, oh, yeah, I had to replace mine 2 weeks ago or last year. It's like,
it's that time of year.
Once your house reaches this 15 to almost 20 years, you got to start saving money because you're going to need it to start changing things. But
yeah.
All right, others. I saw that Cam Ray's in the chat. Who else is out there today?
Brennan,
if there's anyone else, I don't know.
Brennan. Awesome. Yep. Hello there, gentlemen. This show was pretty good, and I always enjoy getting more Asajj. The stuff with Cad Bane wasn't nearly as interesting to me, but it was still okay. Yeah, I feel very similar to this.
All right. We'll talk about it. Yeah, I went back and forth between both.
And Cam Ray really enjoyed that Asajj story.
Okay.
Their daughter... okay, go ahead.
All right, I'm just gonna say, Cam, who's here, thanks for being here. He does weird things on his social media, all comedy bits, and he did one for Deidre and Cyril, kind of a sitcom, their visit with Mama Karn. Mm-hmm. And Denise Gao liked it and commented on his video or reposted it out on TikTok or something. It's got a bunch of exposure. So Cam, keep doing what you're doing out there.
Yeah. He's saying that he did a podcast with his daughter about the episode because it was very emotional for her.
Oh, there you go.
Cool.
It's always nice.
And yes, Star Wars animation is great. Star Wars.
It's awesome. And that's one of the things I will talk when we talk about Shadow Lord. One thing I will mention. Well, anyways, if you guys are ready, I'm ready. Let's talk Star Wars and a little bit of Star Wars news.
Star Wars news.
All right.
Dale arrived. Yay.
Oh, Dale. Welcome. Thanks for joining us, Dale. So I don't have any fancy graphics or anything because we'll just go through some news topics pretty quickly just to say we covered some Star Wars news out there. Last week, I think it was, I can't remember. Again, I didn't do my due diligence. I didn't do research on it too much. But Rian Johnson was doing an interview. He was asked about his Star Wars trilogy that was announced even before The Last Jedi came out, and that has kind of fizzled away, even though every time you talk to Kathleen Kennedy, she says, oh, he's busy doing Knives Out. We'll hope to get him back. And we've kind of joked about it for years and years. Like, yeah, that most likely will never happen. But he was asked, and he point blank said, hey, I wouldn't mind going back to Star Wars and doing something. He didn't say, hey, I want to do my trilogy. He's like, hey, if I'm allowed to come back to Star Wars, I would love to come back. I know you love The Last Jedi out there. I didn't like it that much in terms of like we start ranking, but I would love to see another Rian Johnson Star Wars movie that he gets to do from start to finish his own vision. I'm 100% on board. So, do you think there's any chance this might happen, Oti?
I don't know. Maybe. I love that they refuse to let it die. They've taken down all the articles for writers and creators they fired. They've left the Rian Johnson up there. Every time Kathy's asked, she's like, yeah, maybe one day. Every time Ryan's asked, it's like, yeah, maybe one day. I mean, this doesn't mean it's going to happen, but, he could have this very politically correct answer and be like, hey, I love that universe. I loved working with Kathy. I love the cast, the story. I already did it. I'm now doing this thing with Netflix. Netflix is giving me a lot of money to do whatever I want. So, yeah, like I would never say never, but my trilogy didn't pan out and that's it. But no, he's like, no, be awesome.
Yeah. Oh, man. Between these and Taika Waititi's are the two that I would say there's no way those are happening because there's been no production or no movement on it.
They refuse to let it die.
But they refuse, and I'm on board for both of them. Like, we need new stuff in Star Wars. Hopefully we start getting new stories and new time periods and new characters. So yeah, I love, like you say, he could have said, hey, I'm busy doing my stuff right now. I don't have time for it. But to come out and say, hey, yes, I would love to come back and do it sometime. Hey, I'm on board. So hopefully it'll happen. I know there's a bunch of stuff supposedly in production from here to the next 6 or years. Spring it. I'll take it.
Last Jedi is my favorite Star Wars movie. So if he comes back, I'll be the first one in the theater.
All right. Maybe after what? Not Glass Onion. What's the new one? Time to Die.
Wake up, Dead Man.
Wake Up, Dead Man. I think the new trailer is dropping tonight or tomorrow with all these.
They've been doing those random teasers.
They're so weird. I hope they don't film it like a 1970s mystery, but we'll see.
That's what he's going for.
I mean, I don't mind the story. I mean the way it's shot. But
whatever.
Yeah, well, I'll enjoy it. I love Glass Onion. I love that.
I love those two movies.
All right, something that I hope doesn't happen is that Ryan Reynolds came out, not him, I don't mind him, I'm a Ryan Reynolds fan, but he came out and said that supposedly he pitched an R-rated Star Wars movie. This is something in terms of R-rated Star Wars that has been in the universe for almost a decade now, so like half a decade at least. People asking for R-rated Star Wars. It didn't come to pass. They didn't take his speech. He basically says, not that there has to be a lot of violence or sex. I can't remember exactly what he said, but you see R rating as a Trojan horse to the emotional stuff. You don't need to be R-rated to be emotional in Star Wars. Most of them are emotional anyway.
Star Wars movies are pretty emotional.
Yeah. So I'm glad we don't have an R-rated Star Wars movie. I don't think we need it. Any other thoughts when you heard about this?
I was of the mind that at first I was of the mind that I wanted this. Then I was of the mind that this couldn't work. Andor kind of blurred that line as much as it could. So I think I would be a hypocrite if I said, no, this could never work. I don't really think Andor is for kids. And I'm the guy who's always trying to it's still for kids. Andor really, most of all, because I think it's boring for kids. So yeah, I'm not campaigning for this. So yeah. And I do like that people are like, no, we don't need Ryan Reynolds in Star Wars. We don't need Michaels in Star Wars. And he was said like, oh, I wasn't campaigning for myself. Like, let's see this. Yeah. So again, he's a fan. That's what he would like to see. So whatever. But I did think like it would be interesting. Ryan Reynolds is one of those actors who you can't unsee. Yeah. But he's done some other non-comedic. He tried to have that dramatic actor moment, and he wasn't that bad. So I think it would be interesting, like if this happened and he came into Star Wars. What if he was like a villain, like totally different, non-Deadpool like villain, and be like, yeah, it's Ryan Reynolds in Star Wars.
I mean, it all depends what the story is. Like, I don't want R-rated Star Wars, and it depends what makes it R-rated. Is it the violence, the gore? Is it just because they're cursing every 10 seconds? But yeah, Ryan Reynolds, to me, not so much Ryan Reynolds, like Mark Wahlberg. I just see Mark Wahlberg
Yeah,
every movie he makes because he seems to be playing the same type
give
of
me.
guy.
I'll be right back.
Yeah, just go and do what you want. But just if we go with R-rated in terms of cursing and all that stuff, like Tony Gilroy was just on an interview or a panel he was doing about how expensive Andor was, like 650 million both season, but that they didn't get any pushback or any notes from Star Wars. The only one was they couldn't say fuck, which they had in season one with fuck the Empire. That's the only thing that Star Wars says, you can't do this. So if that one little word, Disney, at least with the current leadership in Lucasfilm, that was the only comment or the only note was you can't say the F word. I don't see an R-rated movie, R-rated Star Wars anything happening if it's in that just with all the cursing. If it's with violence and maybe they add blood here or there, yeah, maybe. I don't I don't see Star Wars at this point with the current leadership and under the Disney banner for most likely doing an R-rated film, which I'm fine with. I don't need it. All right, let me see some of your comments here real quick. So Cam was we were talking about Ryan Johnson. Agreed. Ryan Johnson needs to make his own story complete from beginning to end, and I think it will be fantastic. Dale is making fun of The Last Jedi, or people that complain about The Last Jedi. Oh no, Luke tried to kill Ben. Oh my god. And yes, Cam, I think the focus should be on the story, not what its rating will be. 100%. Again, the first PG-13 Star Wars was Revenge of the Sith. Everything else was PG. Although back in the 80s, it was hard to get a PG-13 rating. So, but yeah, I don't think we need an R-rated Star Wars. All right, then finally, our last news story before we jump into Tales of the Underworld.
I'm back.
Hey, Ati, welcome back.
Thank you.
Just in time. So our last story is, and I think this was maybe mentioned during Celebration when the Darth Maul series, or I should say the Maul series was announced, Shadow Lord. But it just came back, kind of making its way again through social media because Sam Witwer was recently in the Katie Sackhoff show talking about the Darth Maul show, and he said that we were gonna see Darth Maul's humanity, and that I went like, I don't. Sometimes we just need bad guys to be bad guys. Like we don't need everyone needs to have this sad story. Although Darth Maul, I know he was taken as a child and tortured, and everything that happens with the dark side. I don't need him to have a sub story to see his humanity. I did watch the whole interview, at least that section. He does go on to say that this show is bad guys versus worse guys. So it's not like Darth Maul is gonna eventually turn into a hero. He's pretty bad. There are some worse people out there in terms of Palpatine and who else. Again, I don't need to see Darth Maul's humanity. Like he's designed to look like the devil. We have seen all the comparison of Jesus, Qui-Gon Jinn fighting the devil and Darth Maul trying to save Anakin. And yeah, well, he
On the
has
40th day, Jesus fuck.
yeah. He has some humanity in him. So I'm like, I don't need to. I'll
Yeah.
probably love this series because I love every animated Star Wars, even Resistance. But right now, I'm a little bit lukewarm on what I'm hearing.
Hey, but they already gave us Maul's humanity in the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
We saw a lot of his backstory and learned a lot of like who he is and why he is the way he is. The whole thing, I think it was Whitwer or Freddie Prinze who's said like Maul is this guy who's always pushing the boulder up the cliff, and the cliff and the boulder will always fall on him, and he knows the boulder is always gonna fall on him. So I think it's already something we've explored, so I'm not worried on that. And if you really think about all the, especially TV shows we've gotten where the main character is the villain, Breaking Bad, Sopranos, they always go into the character's humanity. Even in The Boys, we spend a lot of time with Homelander and learn why he's a psychopath. And it never changes the fact that he's a psychopath and he's a bad guy. We're never like, oh my god, he has a point. So I'm not really fearful on that. I think they can do it. in a way.
All right. Well, do we know when this show is coming out? I can't remember dates yet.
Next
I'm
year, I
guessing
think. I think they
next
said
year.
next year.
Yeah, May 4th or something. Again, the little trailer teaser that they showed looked pretty
It was
cool.
cool. Yeah.
So I'll wait and see.
Yep.
I'll be a hypocrite as always. All right, so that does it for Star Wars news. Again, nothing too major to kind of discuss. So let's go ahead and talk about our main topic. We haven't had a chance to talk about this, and it's Tales of the Underworld, the latest Star Wars animated series, I guess, that came out back on May 4th. Unfortunately, it was right during Andor season, so we didn't have time to talk about it. But
And I hadn't watched it until today.
we're gonna leave that so the fans out there didn't know. But yeah, you hadn't watched it. I had to rewatch it because I didn't remember too much about that. I remember the main plots, not much about the stories. So just to start, Oti, do you like that change they did for both these stories in terms of telling one continuous story, basically, instead the other ones that we got in the Tales of series, we got like different time periods. Didn't seem like one continuous story. Did you mind, or I think I enjoyed this more than jumping around?
No, I didn't mind. I think it fit the format. Like, I mean, the Cad Bane one did have like jumping in time. The Asajj one was definitely just like the 45-minute Clone Wars episode.
Right, so Asajj, I'll leave it for then. So Asajj Ventress, we got to figure out how she survived, not why she came back in the
immediately addressed.
Oh, no, no word waiting. I know some people were like, we don't need it explained. I didn't need it explained, but if
I kind of wanted it though.
If they're going to explain it, then okay, at least let's start with the direct ending to Dark Disciple. So nice seeing Obi-Wan, nice seeing Quinlan Vos there putting her down, saying he will always love her. Do you like that explanation? And that, of course, weird witch magic brought her back.
Did I like it?
Yeah.
That's exactly how I thought she came back.
There's no other way.
It's funny because when I read the book, I was like, oh, that's Asajj's death. And then when she came back, I was like, well, yeah, of course she did. She was left in a pool of black goo and Dathomir. Of course she's alive.
Yeah.
So yeah. Go ahead.
No, just gonna say, if you mess too much with the story of how you bring her back, you mess it up. Like there's right there, the answers right there.
They kept it simple. Black goo, somehow she lives. Cool.
Yeah.
Like that works.
You can come back, but you can't go see your love. Or you can stay here with us for the rest of eternity in this underworld. Or I'll pick going back up.
Yeah.
So she's working now as an enforcer in some weird planet, which I don't care what it was, but
it was Tatooine at first.
Look pretty Tatooine, but there are too many buildings, I think. She's working for this woman that's selling travel plans or tickets for people trying to leave the planet. The Empire is cracking down. They're trying to find someone. I love that right at the onset we get a Imperial probe droid just walking around, so it's nice to see it. And then this kid shows up, Lyko. I guess the stormtroopers were looking for him.
Mm-hmm.
One of the last Jedi. Another one, Oti. How many Jedi can survive?
How many?
Out of 10,000. Why didn't Vader kill all of them?
There were tens of thousands, and 60 survived. How dare they?
You're telling me that 10 Inquisitors couldn't hunt down 10,000 Jedi and kill all of them? But anyway, this little kid, let's say, just call him a Padawan. He's like 12, 15 years old. He's looking for the path. Nice callback to the Kenobi series, that the path is a thing in Star Wars, that hopefully we'll keep learning more about it. I mentioned that Quinlan Vos is involved with it, or actually started the path, and that kind of brings Asajj into the story. So it's a good setup to kind of start that story. Hopefully they'll get to meet. But the big thing for this first episode, as they're trying to leave, is this new Inquisitor that shows up. And they have this fight in the terminal. Are Inquisitors just bad at their job? Every time we get a new one now, they don't last half an episode.
I mean, they were by default the bottom of the barrel of Jedis.
I guess you're right.
Except like people like Barasafi who were in prison and disillusioned and were like, yeah, sure, I'll join. And then we're like, oh, this is crazy. So, and they didn't have proper training. Like, yeah, they're not. It's like everything in the Empire. Everything just looks cool. Like functionality wise, it doesn't really work.
Yeah, it's like why people complain that the stormtroopers are the worst shot ever. I mean, I don't think they're getting for the best pool of shooters at the academy. Just whatever planet they're
taking
terrorizing.
Planets and now you're a soldier.
Here's a blaster. Go shoot something. But anyway, they leave the planet to try to find the path, and she kind of tells him, "Hey, I'm not a Jedi. I used to be Count Dooku's assassin, so I'm not here for you." Basically,
I have that going for me.
Yeah, and it puts us on a story path very similar to what Star Wars done previously with the Bad Batch, with Mandalorian. This older person serving as a mentor with their kid.
The Last of Us.
Yeah, Last of Us. We'll talk about that ending in a minute.
Maybe it's like a whole social commentary. We're in the era of older person with kid stories.
Oh yeah,
we're in need of mentor roles.
Oh man, there's a bunch of mentors are not the best in Star Wars. I mean, kids, I guess, grew up all right, but so they go to this planet in the second episode that reminded me of the planet in Kenobi, Daiju. I think.
Oh yeah.
I thought it was that one. It would be cool if it was. I don't think they mentioned it anywhere. And they start building, kind of putting in the back of your mind this thing about trust, because he's like, why should I trust you? And then when they meet the bounty hunter, she tells him, hey, don't trust her. She's only in this for herself. Now we call back to the Clone Wars with this bounty hunter, her droid, Lats and C-21. I did like that little fight that the droid was having with the freaking alien there. All right, so the story basically is help me out with this mission that I have. I need to steal an Imperial Shield relay, and I'll give you information about the path. But it's something very common that we've seen in the Clone Wars, in Star Wars, I guess in any media. We've seen that a lot, but it was, at least this episode was pretty predictable. Kind of knew that she was going to get betrayed at the end. Wanted to take the kid because his ransom was going to be bigger than just getting that shield relay, but I don't know. I really enjoyed that first episode. The second episode, I was like, it was kind of...
It felt like just a step to get to the next mission. So, I mean, maybe then this isn't the best format for this kind of stories, because then this middle part was just like, no, this is just a step that we need to take to get to the ending. But I thought it was cool, like the whole mission they did, and starting to that seed of doubt. Like, but I mean, again, it's kind of annoying because I was like, yeah, we can trust her. We know she's good.
Yeah, I did love a bunch of cool parts in that episode when the stormtrooper with that big whatever Imperial radar ball is coming out, he's hiding. Ooh, that was close, and they get shot. And when the droid, again, which was a C-21, does the IG-11 with the arms out and starts spinning, killing everyone. One thing I'll say, doesn't matter if I like the story or not, the animation keeps killing it. They kind of up the ante again with the Bad Batch style of animation. The music was great. So that's always, even if the story is not there.
Bad Batch style of animation, Clone Wars.
Clone Wars. We'll keep going. I had to wear my Bad Batch shirt. So, and then the problem I had was like going to episode 3. It's basically the same plot. Help me with something, I'll help you get to. So that's the really. But I like that now they're in this other weird planet, kind of Western style, and she meets an old separatist. I'm gonna call him a general. I don't know. But that was a cool kind of tense moment, a cool interaction that they had when he's like, "Oh, I see, we were in the right," and it's like, "No, like both sides were wrong." It's cool to have at least that little conversation, though. There's still separatists out there at this point trying to say that they were in the right.
By the way, Cam is saying that if they're gonna do this, they should probably like release it as one main story, and that way the middle part wouldn't have that feeling. Yeah, I actually kind of agree. I think that would be cool.
Yeah.
But in terms of how repetitive it is, though, like Yeah, but like so is Clone Wars, and so is like most kids' TV shows. Like, yeah,
Yeah,
the plots are very similar, and that is the target audience. So, yeah, sure.
that's again not with this, but when you get shows that go on for 6, 7, 8 seasons, start getting repetitive. So that's sometimes why I don't mind if a show ends after 4 or 5 seasons. I see our friend Alan is in the chat. Hi, Alan. How you doing?
Oh, Alan,
Welcome.
yeah, I kind of missed him. We all probably would. Oh yeah, I don't know what he was talking about.
Yeah,
Sorry.
we're coming in the middle of
Alan
the
is there.
conversation. I just see the last one. I give my ex-wife. Says
Okay,
Dale.
that's a
All right.
very interesting conversation y'all are having.
Says, out of context, just putting people's wives and
Yep.
significant others on blast. But so this episode, so I love that connection with the Separatist. That guy knowing that he calls her Lady Ventress, who's Dooku's assassin or Dooku's the affiliation they had with Dooku. And then, of course, we find out the raiders are supposedly taking the water. They're the locals of the planet. And they just want their water back because they live in the desert and you're stealing my water. And a little bit, not social commentary, but for the characters in the show to understand that when they go back, Ventress and Lyko with the raiders, they remind me of the Kakamoras from Moana, go back to the old guy's house, the granddad out there.
Mm-hmm.
When he learns, oh, he's a Jedi, he pulls a blaster out, ready to blast him. He's like, no, we gotta learn to let go. And the same thing for Ventress. She needs to understand to let go of finding, what's his face, Quinlan out there.
Yeah.
All right, so Oti, was this a backdoor pilot to the Asajj Ventress show, or are we're
I don't
done?
know. What if she shows up in Maul?
That's my next question. Can we see her in the Maul series? I think
Maybe.
that it's a big.
That'd be yo, a Maul, a Sarge fight. That'd be sick.
I'll be freaking sweet, man. Especially at that episode. I think it makes sense to bring her if he's in the Underworld at this point. It makes sense to bring Ventress back. She's been jumping through all these different animated series.
Yeah.
I think that's where it works. I'm not the biggest Asajj Ventress, so I'm not here like, yep, here we go, the Asajj Ventress Lyko show. I'm ready for it. I wouldn't mind seeing her in Maul. I didn't see this as, yes, there's a show coming.
I mean, we've been speculating about backdoor pilots for all of these shorts, and none of them have really been a backdoor pilot to anything. I do hope she comes back. I love Asajj. She's awesome. So anything with her. That's why I watched her episodes the day it dropped, and that's it. I don't really care about Cad Bane. I never really cared about her.
So when I watched it the first time, I enjoyed the Ventress episodes more than the Cad Banes, but when I rewatched them this week, I enjoyed the Cad Banes a little bit more. I don't know. Maybe if I go back, it'll change. But I didn't have, even though here I'm complaining about how these episode 2 and 3 were similar, episode 2 didn't have that much going on. I think I enjoyed all 6 more the second time. Just let me just watch it. I cannot remember what they are about. I didn't have as many issues, even though I kind of said some things I didn't like. All in all, like we said before, it's Tales of, not, it's something I won't go back and watch when I want to watch a Star Wars, but there's more Star Wars. There's nothing to really complain about it.
Yep.
All right, so Cad Bane, or should I say Colby, and his friend Nero. Colby.
Go by that now.
I don't understand why he changed his name. Too similar to Cody, which I hate. I think I forgot about you, Captain Commander Cody. Anyway.
I still don't get why you hate.
I don't know. It's just a fun bit to keep going, even though I haven't done it in about 2 years.
No.
But anyway, they're these young kids. They're struggling. They're trying to make ends meet, basically. Scavenging. Yeah, they're scavenging for food. They're messing with this droid to steal his fruits, which is a pretty cool scene. And we kind of start seeing this place that they're at. I don't know if it's the Duro planet, where the hell they're at. It's not in the base. It's not falling apart, but it could
it's Duran.
Duran. I think you're making that up.
Durai.
Okay, that makes more sense. No, it doesn't. Well, there's this store that they frequent. They want to buy some crunchies, and there's some illegal activities happening in the back. And we see this mysterious guy with a very familiar hat and a toothpick just laying outside.
Oh, the homeworld is called Duro.
See, we got it. Not Duri.
Oh, it's right. It's right next to Corellia. Cool.
Oh,
Apparently.
fun facts. So when you saw the guy with the hat and the toothpick, you say, "Oh, here we go! It's Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade."
Yeah. It's Oh, what was that guy? That guy's name? Ryder or something?
Laszlo.
No.
Oh,
Indiana
Indiana?
Jones. Yeah,
I don't
forgot.
know.
But yeah, the hat thing. Yeah, of course. Of course it was.
You gotta love all that. Sometimes I don't want to say I hate. That's too strong a word. But it's like too obvious. The callbacks to other franchises. It's like, I guess it's fun now. It's
Hey,
nothing
but
to be too
in the
angry.
case of Indiana Jones, like,
Yeah, it's in the family.
yeah, like Indiana Jones and Star Wars somehow exist in the same universe.
Yeah. Plus, that's my favorite Indiana Jones movie, so I'll take
Yes,
it.
it is.
So he gives them, as any good crime boss or gang member, gives them a little money just for, oh, I saw you did something over there. I'm just gonna give you this.
Fedora, that was his name.
Who?
The guy in Last Crusade who puts the hat
Uh-huh.
on him. His name is Fedora.
Fedora, just like the hat.
Yeah.
You're making that up.
No, I swear that's his name. It's a George Lucas movie. Of course, his name is Fedora.
Oh my goodness. Colby doesn't sound so bad. I'll
No.
prefer Colby to Fedora Jones or whatever his last name was.
His name is Fedora.
All right, so Fedora, here's to you. You gave Indiana
Fun
Jones
fact:
his look.
there's like lore that supposedly he's Marion's dad or something. I don't know. Indiana Jones talk now.
All right, we'll have to when there's no Star Wars news in the next couple of months. We'll do some deep dive Indiana Jones fact finding.
I love me some Indiana Jones. So.
They're pretty good. Anyway, he gives them the kids a coin. Hey, the first one for free. Haha. It's not gonna come back and bite you. They go like Bart and Milhouse when they go and get high on all the slushies and just buy all the crunches that they can, eat them in the first night, and just pass out in this sugar coma. And then the guy comes back, Laszlo, say, "Hey, I got a job for you. I gotta go steal some money over here. Come help me out."
Yep. I don't really care that much about this episode. I love how it ended though. Like,
so we have the class.
family, kid.
Yeah. So this episode was very classic gangster out there.
Yeah.
At some point, the best friends are gonna be divided. Someone falls with the law. The other goes into the life of crime.
It's The Departed.
Yeah, The Departed, exactly. So Nero gets arrested. Cad/Colby goes with the family and say, "Hey, sorry, welcome to the family. Good news, bad news. Now you get his share of the credit. So here you go."
Yep.
All right, then. Episode 2, another classic episode that we said about good guys against bad guys. Picks up the story a couple of years later. They go back to the neighborhood where Cad Bane stays back with his lady friend. And when the gang gets back, no, the marshal killed Laszlo. Oh, look, the hat is just rolling to you. Grabs it, and then he takes over. Erin is the name of the girlfriend.
Yep.
So he goes back. The city's run down. He runs into Nero that's waiting for him. And they had this conversation against, "Hey, I'm the law now. I don't want you causing any trouble." Trouble's going to happen anyway because it's Cad. What are you doing here? I don't know if you noticed at that point, and I saw it, and I said, hopefully this doesn't happen. When Erin walks into the cockpit, she's holding her belly. I'm like, I hope there's not pregnant.
I did not realize that.
Yeah, especially when he goes, she tells him, I noticed this when I just watched it. She says, "Oh, there's more at stake," right before he leaves. Kind of a little foreshadowing there.
Okay.
Throws a thermal detonator into the store, waits for the marshal, and they have the little classic standoff number 1, because there'll be a second one on the next episode. But
yep,
kills the marshal. Marshal hits Erin in the shoulder, and then Cad Bane thinks he's gonna take 10 people out with no blaster.
Because he's a moron.
He's kind of, with that big head, You think he'll have a big brain, but no.
Yeah, no.
Calls her a traitor, and she's like, I just don't want you to die. Later on, he surprised she didn't wait for him after he called him a traitor, but it was a cool episode. I did like, again, the animation for this episode. I love that for these 3 episodes, almost everyone was a different alien. Most of them were Duro, but we did get a lot of different characters out there, not just a bunch of human and 2 Duro. So I did enjoy that part.
Yeah, I was actually paying attention to the background. I was like, oh, cool. There's also sorts of aliens there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love, and I don't know, for some reason, the ship design on these last 3 episodes, every time the ships coming into the city and they were landing, they just look great. They look almost photorealistic. So I really love the animation for these last 3 episodes. Skip forward a couple more years. The city's back. In episode 2, it had been a little bit run down. A bunch of business had closed, but now it seems to be back. Some green areas over here.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the old gang is back. They're out of prison. Cad Bane got released early on a technicality, which unfortunately happens also in real life. And this is what...
As someone who went to law school, I'll push
All
back on the technicality. But yeah, he was a bad guy, so whatever.
Why was the whole freaking city and planet afraid of him coming back? Like, he was there once, got arrested, and now everyone's like, oh no, Cad Bane's back, you gotta hide.
Killed one person, and now like, oh no, Cad is back. What are we gonna do?
So that's...
Unless he killed like a bunch of people in prison or something, which would make the technicality even weirder.
So this is, even though I say I love these 3 episodes more, or I like these 3 episodes more than the Asajj, both of those series started on a high point. I think I like the first episode more and then started dropping a little bit, because then I started questioning all those decisions, like all the other lawmen, they're like running away. The town council is meeting. What are we gonna do about Cad Bane? The whole town is there. They have a town hall meeting. Either kill him or run away because he's going for you. Oh, what you did to Aaron, he'll never forget you.
This is a soap opera.
Yeah, it was very soap
this?
opera. Oh man, so Nero's and Marshall is moved up.
I'll buy your theory that all of this was super weird. Like, why is he the Baba Yaga now?
Yeah, right. Out of nowhere. And then he has this little blue kid, Isaac, at least someone with a regular name, not a Star Wars name, but you knew as soon as you see a little blue Nero walked in, like, oh, that's Cad Bane's kid.
You spoiled it for me a couple of days ago.
Hey, you asked. I told you I
didn't mind. And when I saw it, I was like, I could have seen it a mile away. I wasn't going to be like, oh.
Cad Bane's humanity. We saw his humanity because he has a child, which he left behind because he's a deadbeat dad.
Not care less. Did he know it was his son?
I think at the end.
Because he says, oh, there's this thing your mom wanted you to know. A push, not that.
Yeah. I think because he said, I will just jump ahead. So Cad Bane was told that Erin married Nero, so he's already, oh, you betrayed me. My friend, I haven't seen you for 10 years and I betrayed you a decade ago, but how did you take that person? I told her I was a traitor last time I saw her. Supposedly, she passed away a couple of years earlier.
Yep.
Nero had him dead to rights, didn't kill him. Then they have another standoff, another classic Western standoff. Shoots Nero right in front of Isaac. Papa, no! Got a little dark, I'll say. I didn't want the poor kid to see his dad shot right there. And then this is again when it lost me a little. Cad Bane goes, oh, you took everything from me. I'm like, what did he take? He didn't kill your Laszlo. He didn't kill or shoot Erin. She took care of her, raised your kid. He didn't take anything from
you. You were actually the one who abandoned him and took his money.
Exactly. Should be the other way around. So that's like, Cad Bane, I'm glad you're dead. And that's he said, when he said, oh, you took everything from me, he says, not everything. And that's when I guess this blue child is mine. I'm just going to walk away anyway because I'm not going to raise him because I suck.
Yep.
And that was it. Thank you for coming, Cad Bane.
Yeah, I was fine with these episodes. Okay.
So yeah, again, in terms of Tales of the Jedi, Tales of the Empire, Tales of the Underworld. They're good episodes out there to watch once in a while, but nothing, at least for myself, nothing that I'm like, yes, here comes another 3. So they're okay.
Yeah, I always enjoy them, but
What do you guys think? If you're still out there in the chat, let us know what you thought about the Asajj Ventress, the Cad Bane episodes. Which ones you enjoy the most? Are we off base by calling Cad Bane a loser, deadbeat dad? He is, but
no, we're not.
us-
He literally is a deadbeat dad.
You know, the people tell us their
Why
thoughts.
raise a kid when I can be a cool guy?
I don't have enough hats and toothpicks for everyone.
Yep.
All right, any other comments out of context out there, Oti, that we can look at before we move on?
I'll give you a super out of context message. Kathleen Kennedy was fired and quit 10 minutes ago.
Oh, wait, breaking news.
Another.
Oh,
Ha!
oh man.
Oh, but she's staying as a Lucasfilm writer. Keep us posted, Dale.
Oh, Dale's got his thumb on the pulse of the news right next.
Yep.
All right.
Let's
All
move
right,
on,
thank you.
Alberto.
Let's move
I
on.
don't
That's
wanna
it
talk
for
about the
Star
show
Wars.
anymore.
Yeah. So yeah, this was basically just a way for us to come in and talk about Doctor Who and The Last of Us. So let's go ahead. So
Ding, ding, ding,
thank you,
ding, ding.
Star Wars, for giving us something to talk about. But now we'll move to another topic that's not Star Wars in a world between fandoms. All right, a world between fandoms, Oti, and we had 2 season finales this past 2 weeks because we haven't talked about it in a while. We're gonna start with Doctor Who right off the bat. Episode
Doctor
7,
Who,
I guess.
full spoilers, okay.
Oh yes, if you haven't watched the finale, which we'll talk about Wishworld first for about 2 minutes, and then we'll jump to the finale. Come back, go watch the show. There's a lot of spoilers for the last 10 minutes of Doctor Who. Then come back, and if you don't care, then stay and let us know. Wishworld, of the last week's episode, classic Doctor Who episode. It was a cool kind of, not back to form. The last episode was okay. It's a good Doctor Who episode. For some reason, it reminded me of the David Tennant episode when the Master just turns him old. He just starts getting older and older.
It
Had that vibe.
It reminded me of Sound of Drums and Human Nature. It reminded me of those 2 episodes.
Yeah,
we got John Smith back.
Yeah, the John Smith callback was cool because I was okay. He knows what's going on. Of course, he remembers. He's just trying to find a plan. That's what I'm waiting for. It's almost the old one, but it's a cool setup that every time those cups break, a new one shows back up. Everything's orange. No one's remembering. I'll say, even though she was there a couple of episodes again, I love having Ruby back for some reason.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, Ruby, you're great. I want you back every time you're here.
Even like one of my conclusions of the finale was like, Ruby is one of my favorite companions. I love her. She's so cool. She's definitely special. So we'll get into that. But I love any Ruby, anything.
Yeah, she was great in her solo episode last season, 73 yards. Come on, one of the best of last season. The little bit earlier this season, though it wasn't my favorite episode, I love seeing her there. But just seeing her back in that episode in Wishworld, being the only one that remembers trying to bring that Doctor back, and of course in the finale, she's a very important part. But Wishworld in general was a very cool episode. Rogue came up, just gave me a little message. Hey, go do so. I can't remember what he said. It was cool to see him back. Hopefully, we'll talk about the finale in a minute.
Last night I had a theory on Rogue, and I think it came true because I was thinking, like, what if that wasn't really Rogue and it was just like a projection of memories and wishes and stories? And I kind of think that's what it was after seeing the finale. So
let's go to the finale.
By the way, did you see Chuti talk about that scene?
No.
So he was saying that apparently they recorded that moment with Rogue telling the Doctor the table thing before they recorded Rogue.
Oh, wow.
And Jonathan, when they met, they were talking, and Jonathan Groff was like, yeah, they made me record something for next season, something about some tables.
Oh no, I didn't know that. Yeah, the table thing. That's tables don't work that way, right, or something like that.
Tables don't do that. Cam has
Tables
to
don't do
run.
that.
Thanks for being with us, Cam.
Yeah, Cam, thank you. Check out his things out there. Well, let's just jump to the finale, the reality war. A lot of set. I'll say before we jump into reality war, I guess these last two seasons. I felt like people that don't follow Star Wars all the way, when they see someone like us just go nuts. Oh, because this character from Legend showed up. Because everything is from the original Doctor Who. I don't know who Sutek was, Omega, the Rani. I don't know any of these people.
I
So I'm
mean,
like just
but they then did old New Who at the end.
yeah,
So
yeah. When the only I'm not complaining about it because when I started watching New Who, I didn't know who the Dalek were or the
yeah,
Cybermen. I still
true,
enjoyed it. So just a way to I
true.
don't know why people are so excited. That was it when all these names are coming up. But the Rani is crazy. She's another Time Lord, wants to bring back the original Time Lord in Omega and create a new race of Time Lords with Omega's DNA.
Bring back the Time Lord. It's a
Yeah.
classic Time Lord plot.
Yeah.
it's
Very
it's
Doctor Who.
basically the plot of the Master
Yeah.
in the end of time, was it? Yeah.
I don't know the name of the episodes. I'm sorry.
The David Tennant finale.
Mhm. Did you enjoy it? Let me just start there before we go into
I don't know.
Still new. I think I'm right.
No idea how I feel like when I watched The Rise of Skywalker, like I knew it was crazy
Yeah.
and a lot of weird things that I kind of liked but didn't know. And while I was watching it, I went through a literal roller coaster of emotion. There were
Yeah,
moments I was like, I hate this. There were moments where I was like, Russell T Davies is a genius. Then I was like, what the hell is happening?
Yeah.
There were moments where I was like, wait, this is what we're going for? And then it ended, and I was like, oh, okay.
I saw a comment that someone posted, and I think this is how I feel. I mean, with every Doctor Who, it was so weird. I loved it. And like that could be any Doctor Who. But same thing through most of the episode. I'm like, it's okay. It's an okay episode. It doesn't feel like this a big finale. Some things are getting resolved too easy. They don't make sense or whatever. Then it went up with some of the surprises, some of the decisions they made. I loved it. Then it went down, then came back up with some more surprises. So I'm kind of maybe the whole episode wasn't great. Cool part towards the end, and then what the hell is going on all the way at the end. But
I think it was
Anita's
a cool
back.
episode. Oh, dude, I love that. I love that.
Yes.
Like when that door opens, I was like, this is too easy, but let's go into a time hotel.
I love the time hotel as a concept. It's something you can use any sci-fi thing you want to create. Just use the idea of a time hotel. You can do millions of ideas or whatever. And Anita was a great companion for that little half of the episode. So yeah, give me more Anita.
It was super fun that she got to see all the doctors. She went to Matt Smith.
Was that a new Matt Smith? I don't remember that episode.
I don't remember that scene. But I don't think it was something they recorded for
in my heart. It was.
I don't think it was something they recorded for the episode. And then they did the second Doctor with the Day of the Dalek, I think is the name of that episode. And there was a new Dalek. I saw the behind the scenes, like, finally!
Yeah. And then we get the Rogue scene when she's like, okay, I'll let you go. Yeah. I'll go with Ricardo, which is my brother's name. I gotta make sure he didn't get into Doctor Who. But yeah, Anita, I love Anita. So it was a cool thing to bring her back. And she was important to the plot. It wasn't just a throwaway that she was there just to save him.
By the way, I'm going to spoil it. Watching it, not knowing it was a regeneration episode, it was fun because they brought in everything from because she was back. Joy to the World was back later on. So I really did appreciate that they brought everything together.
Yeah. I just going through social media later after watching the episode. I guess a bunch of the surprises were spoiled. I didn't see anything. I know you're more into the Doctor Who world out there. I don't know if you saw anything before.
So I tweeted out I feel like if I texted my friends who haven't watched it yet the same thing. Like I could spoil this episode and you would think I'm joking.
Yeah.
So I heard a lot of the leaks, and I was like, "That's not gonna happen. That's insane."
Yeah.
So yeah.
All right, so let's go, I guess, more close to the finale. So the idea is this time shift is happening. Just keep repeating it the same day over and over. Eventually, reality
It's
will
getting
seep
narrower and
in.
narrower.
And then, but if they fix the problem, then Poppy will disappear because she's part of this reality, fake reality that was made up by the wishes of
and
Conrad.
and that was actually super interesting because that was an interesting cliffhanger, and then how they brought it in, because like the whole thing why she's special is because everyone remembers that it was a fake reality,
Yeah,
but Poppy is still in their memory, so it's like, so she is real.
real.
So I did like how they played with that.
Yeah, and it made sense why it was Poppy. Sometimes, right? Oh yeah, no, this baby is from thousands of years ago, but it's in our memory. That's why you remember it. I remember her because when I was watching Wishrow, I'm like, I seen this kid before. Where was it? And I had to go
She
back.
shows up. She shows up in the barber episode for a
I
second.
saw it later. I figured out. I found out, but yeah, Poppy, Space Babies comes back from the first episode. They put her and Belinda in this chamber, this reality chamber, where so it doesn't, nothing happens to them. But
Yeah, because the thing is that Poppy can disappear.
yeah, let's go to the end. I don't. So they save the day.
I'll say I
Omega is
love
the
the
Rani.
war thing, like the kaiju's fighting the
The freaking
unit
unit,
building.
the building
Like,
moved around.
I thought that was super cool. It
It
was
was cool.
absurd. I was underwhelmed, by the way, by the Ronnie.
Yeah,
Because she then turned into an exposition machine. She shows up in unit, says everything that everyone needs to know, and leaves.
yeah, yeah.
And
That scene.
yeah.
Go ahead. No, I just
No,
want to say I love when the Doctor in any interaction gets to interact with other Time Lords, because it's always we're the last one. We need to find a way to figure out how to move together as a species. This time was a little bit the other way, with the Rani trying to convince him, "Hey, we'll make it better." It's like, and that's what every god says, right? We'll make a better world this time. Forget about these puny humans. Let's do something else together.
I do like that she's like, I know you deep down want this.
Yeah.
And then he's like, yeah. Because like when she's like, don't you want to see him? He's like, yeah, I kind of do.
I kind of do.
I was fooled, by the way. So you know, Michelle Gomez, Missy actress. She was in the premiere, so everyone was speculating that she was gonna show up, and I was like hell bent on this. I was like, the unholy trinity has to be the Doctor, the Master, and the Rani. And when they were gonna open the vault, they were doing the, I don't know if you can hear it, the sound of drums. So I was like,
I didn't notice.
Like Missy's gonna pop out of the
that
vault.
was being so awesome.
So then this monster comes out. And I was like, Russell T Davies really likes his like monster ending villains.
Yeah,
like,
so that's where I kind of again, very similar to Sutek, a monster just hanging to the TARDIS. This monster comes out halfway because it's too big to come out the whole way from that tunnel. It's the Rani. Mrs. Flood says, "See ya, I'm leaving."
I do love that the Rani's still out there then.
Yeah, she's now the only Rani. I love when they're both Belinda and Ruby are like, "That's my neighbor." No, that's my neighbor. And she's like, "Yeah, it's just me."
Great line, by the way. I just needed to find a blonde teenager or 19-year-old and stick with her. Good call forward.
But again, great to get Ruby back. Very important. And the only one that kind of remembers what's going on. But then when everything kind of, okay, we saved, we went back. Belinda's there, Poppy's there, everyone's saved. Anita leaves and says, "Oh, I gotta go back. The boss."
The boss. The meep.
The meep. I thought the boss was gonna be not the Rani, but I thought the Rani was the one who waits.
Yeah.
But then the boss is still out there, so I love that there's still something going on that hasn't been revealed.
Yep, there is something they're still hiding.
Yeah. But then we go to the TARDIS, and everyone's happy. We're gonna take Poppy. She's gonna see
Oh yeah, because
Neptune.
Poppy survived.
So Poppy survived. They're like, so what are you gonna do? Are you gonna take this child with you, whatever? So she's in the TARDIS in this little crib. They start folding her jacket, and there was a cutaway. I'm like, I think she's gonna disappear. But every time the jacket keeps getting smaller and smaller, like, oh crap, they're doing it. Heartbreaking. Go ahead.
That's probably one of my favorite Doctor Who scenes ever.
This is where, even though the episode was kind of, it's okay, that scene started to pick up on me. I love the scene. I love when, and this, maybe I read it wrong, when Ruby's trying to get them to remember Poppy, and they're like, oh, there's no Poppy, we don't have a baby. We will remember we had a baby. The last time she says it, the doctor looks at her and said, oh, your mind's scrambled. He winks at her and like, oh, the doctor remembers. He just doesn't want Belinda to go through that.
Yeah.
And then like, okay, this is great. Russell T. Davies, you did it. But then when they go out and she keeps going, no, Poppy. I'm like, no, you're breaking it. You're ruining it. And that took me down. Then we're going to go back to the TARDIS, but before we go there.
So this is why it was a roller coaster for me. Because I loved this. I love the whole, like, the doctor is gonna, he remembers, he knows he's lying to Belinda, but he's doing it to protect her. And then it's gonna be weird because they're gonna go on adventures. Okay. At first, I was like, I hate this because we're doing the whole like the kid thing and we're gonna go on adventures. And like, this is not gonna work. Like, and then when that scene happened, I was like, this Russell T. Davies is a genius. It's awesome. I love the whole cloth, how they played it. It was actually brilliant. And then I was like, okay, cool. I'm so excited for next season. I thought the episode was ending. I was like so excited.
Yeah, me too.
These two companions, I love them. I want to see them on adventures together. And then that thing started to happen. I was like, oh, and then I was like, where is this going? Like, what's the point here? And then everyone guilt trips the doctor into wanting to save Poppy.
We're all your children. Remember the time
I hated that line.
Yeah.
I love Cade, but I hated that line.
Yeah. So that it went back. It kind of took a dive for me at that point.
But I still liked a lot of things that happened after.
So then, the reality has been tilted 1 degree or something. I gotta go back to the TARDIS to save everyone. What happened before?
But by the way, I will give them something, and Alan, I think, is onto something. I felt a lot for Ruby. She was so sad thinking about the Dr. Belinda and Poppy going on without her.
I thought that was first what was happening. When she's looking at them, I thought she felt left out.
Yeah. So, but then I started thinking, like, it would be extremely unlike the Doctor to remember that Belinda had a daughter and pushing it away and ignoring it. So even though I didn't like maybe the execution of that whole guilt trip, like, I think it did make sense. And Ruby being the one, like, you're really gonna act like you can't do anything about this. And then the episode did something else that I thought was gonna be super cool. Again, they pulled the rug from under me so many times, and it was actually fun to go through it, even though it was nerve-wracking.
Yeah. Again, it's Doctor Who. I'm not gonna. It's just nuts. You gotta go with it.
Yeah.
So he goes to the TARDIS, tries to fix this 1 degree tilt, whatever that the universe has gone through, and you hear a voice come out and say, like, you can't do that, or you're gonna need some help.
But I think this is very important, though, because he does the thing the Bad Wolf did. He hacks into the energy of the TARDIS, which he knows is gonna kill him, but he does it on purpose. And then I thought, this is so interesting. We're gonna get a regeneration, and the next Doctor is gonna have to pick up the previous Doctor's adventure and go save Poppy. I was okay. I mean, this is cool. But then
Jodie shows up.
I was very excited. I was very excited to see.
I've been on records here saying that she's not my favorite Doctor. Not Jodie Whittaker's fault. I just thought the stories she got were not the best. Dude, I got very emotional when I heard that voice and I had the captions and read what she said. I think it said woman's voice. What I'm like, don't tell me. I want to cut to her coming down the stairs. Why so big? We need so many space in a place that's about space. I'm like, man, I
Where's
love
my
you.
cave?
Come back. I want you back. I hope so. And I love that she's there because she got, unfortunately, a lot of people didn't like her series. So I'm glad that she got a chance to come back and give a little bit more of her doctor. And I think it was great. And connecting them again to, what's it? What are the name of her companion was? Like,
Oh, Jazz. They mentioned
Jazz. I
that.
was going to say Vel. I had confused. When he said, "Oh, I love you, Doctor." Oh, I don't say I love you. I should say that too, Jazz. You never
Yeah.
do, but she knows. I like, oh man,
Yeah,
it's
that was
great.
cool.
But then
Jody has been on my short list of top doctors I wanted to return, so I was excited to see her. But then the show did another thing that I was like, because she's like, "I'm here to stop you." And I was like, "Are we gonna have like a doctor war, like the 13
Yeah.
versus the 15? You can't save Poppy." So yeah,
yeah, it didn't. Yeah, she was there to kind of help him move some things around and then walked out. But it's a cool cameo for her to come back. Didn't change too much of it. I thought that maybe going to season 3, she might be more involved in it, but we'll see.
the show still had surprises. I
Yeah.
love that scene with him doing the energy and the everything breaking.
Yeah, it was a cool scene. Again, Disney money. But now we find out he goes back, saves reality, goes back to visit Belinda. Pop is there. It's not your kid anymore.
No.
Some other guy. Did she really say Popper's name in all those episodes?
No,
Okay.
I think she rewrote history.
I'm like, what the hell? I would remember she said in 5 different episodes.
Everyone would have been, who's Poppy?
Yeah. But so anyway, so Poppy survived. She's with Belinda. Unfortunately, it's not the doctor.
Belinda's mom, another companion iconic. Iconic companion's mom. Because like I love that she's like, oh, I've always wanted to bring a doctor here, but for me.
Oh, yeah. So one thing, didn't the whole thing for the 60th and part of this episode that he has a granddaughter, but now supposedly Time Lords can't have children?
I mean, the doctor has a daughter, but it's weird, the whole grandkids and children in Doctor Who. Like,
Yeah.
It depends on the story they're telling.
It's like when Stan Lee got asked who would win a fight between the Hulk and Spider-Man. Whoever I'm writing is the one that wins it. It's the doctor's story. Whoever's writing comes out with the rules.
Because the doctor's daughter in that episode of the 10th Doctor is not Susan's mom. No. So it's weird. It's super
It's
weird.
wherever they want. Doesn't matter. And then, unfortunately, we get regeneration for Nshuti. That's his time. It's over. All these thoughts about maybe there's not going to be a season 3. They're not going to show who the next Doctor is. What the fuck?
Wait.
What?
Because when he wakes up, I was like, oh, thank God he didn't regenerate. But then he sees the hand and he's like, nah, not yet.
Oh,
not yet. So I thought they were going to do a Capaldi thing where you the entire season, his time is coming and he's just putting it off. So I was like, oh, cool. The last season is going to be then like a last round of him before he regenerates. But then after that Belinda scene and she being like, will I ever see you? I was like, okay, I was super emotional. I was like, okay, now he has this has to be his regeneration scene. They're not going to get a better scene than this.
Mm-hmm.
And oh my God.
Yeah, when he walked to the TARDIS, I can't remember exactly what he said, but I kind of had an idea that was happening. Sorry, my son is back and heard me curse, so now he's texting me to watch my language. So yeah, regeneration starts. I'm like, there's not an announcement for season 3, so they're not gonna show who the next Doctor is. Boom, we just mentioned Bad Wolf. Rose, Billy Piper is there. What?
The 16th Doctor?
Dude, again, is it gonna work or not? Does it make sense? I don't care. Rose.
I do like the fact that it may have something to do with him tapping into the TARDIS energy because the last person who did that was Rose. So maybe it has. But have you seen the theories? Like it says introducing
No.
Billy Piper, but it doesn't
Oh,
say
does
as
a
the
doctor?
doctor.
Yeah.
And they show like every introducing X as
Mhm.
the doctor. They didn't do that. What if she's not the doctor? What if she's the Bad Wolf?
Hey, makes sense. I mean, I'm not gonna say makes sense. It'll be cool if she comes back as something else.
Also, what it's gonna be super weird when she goes to what's
You'll get it.
Rose's mom, the new Rose. Catherine, Donna when she goes to
Donna, there you
Donna's
go.
house
Yeah.
to visit Rose, and then the 14th Doctor is there, but he's not the 10th. It's gonna be
Yeah.
weird.
And she
Weird
has another
Thanksgiving.
version in that. Anyway, there's a lot of stuff that hand.
Also, by the way, I've had that over there for a while.
I can't see what it is.
So it's a comic book about the 10th Doctor and the 8th Doctor.
Hmm.
And they have to fight the Bad Wolf Empire, which is run
Oh, wow.
by a rogue Rose. Yep.
But again, I understand if people were spoiled, if things like that were out there. I'm glad I didn't see them. I wouldn't have believed them either.
I've seen the Billy Piper thing for like a year. And
Oh,
I
wow.
was like, this is too insane. I did like, there was a theory that there were, Clara was going to be the 16th Doctor. And I was super into that. So at first, when I saw Billy Piper, I was like, I don't know. But then I was like, if I was into the Clara thing, why wouldn't I be into this? So
yeah. No, I'm loving it. Give me weird Doctor Who. People might say just falling back on old actors that worked with David Tennant before, now Billy Piper, but I mean, I'll take it. I'll take Billy Piper.
Yeah.
She was great. My introduction to Doctor Who with her as a companion. So hopefully this is, I mean, if you do something like this, there has to be an idea for what's going on. I don't know if they're going to call it season 3 or we start again with something. I mean, I guess with her first season, it kept going even though the Doctor changed. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah, no, I'm excited to know what's next because the show hasn't been renewed. So maybe.
But we just got a trailer for the war between the land and sea. A trailer came out right after.
I'm not a huge fan of the spinoffs. But yeah, no, I want to know. I want to know what they have in store.
So real quick before we move to The Last of Us, your thoughts on season 2 in general, and then Ncuti's run, which unfortunately came to an end a lot sooner than I thought.
By the way, it's not much longer than Eccleston's. I think it's like 3 episodes longer, which is wild.
Yeah, Eccleston was just one season, but it was longer.
10 episodes, yeah. I love Ncuti's run. I think he has probably one of the best run of episodes ever. Like his finales are always like, ugh, I don't know. There's a couple episodes in there that I'm like fine with, but like really think about it. I don't think he has a bad episode.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm gonna miss him. I love this version of the Doctor. It was super different.
Yeah.
And yeah, I really like season 2. Maybe more than season 1. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know where I fall in terms of season 1 or season 2. At one point, I was loving season 2 more. There were a couple of episodes down the middle, maybe just one that Lucky Day, the one that I really didn't enjoy, but everything else was fine. There's some great episodes to begin the season with. I love Ncuti. He was a great Doctor, brought his own flavor to it. I love when he, in this episode, he comes back fully as the Doctor, not as John Smith, when he drops the jacket coat and then comes out with, even though he doesn't have a Doctor suit or a uniform, that's kind of his style there. Maybe with that brown jacket that we saw in the first episode.
I wish we got the brown jacket because I've heard a lot of talk of the Doctor silhouette. Like if you just see a silhouette, you know what Doctor is. So I think the jacket is his thing.
Would have been cool to get the jacket back. All in all, I think he did a great job. Gotta miss him. I wish he got to finish all 3 seasons, but again, we don't know what the story was.
Now the question is, when is he coming back?
Yeah, he'll be back. We'll see everyone.
That's the fun part now.
Will he be back before Eccleston? Yes, he will.
By the way, this is the most Eccleston thing ever. They're showing this clip of Billy Piper saying that she would love to come back to the show because her kids are fan and it would help her, like, you know, it would be fun for her. And now she gets to be the Doctor, which is amazing. But I love that that's like a touching. Everyone's sharing it like a touching, like, oh look, she's getting to do it. Awesome. That line is like 10 seconds before or after Echoes of being like, I would only come back because it's in a panel with him.
Yeah.
I would only come back if they fire everyone.
Yeah, he does hate a lot of those people.
Yeah.
Maybe, we'll see what the next showrunner, if Russell T. Davies doesn't do it. So I would love to see Echoes come back. I know.
This would be like one big dump on someone who isn't like, okay, you get to be the new showrunner. Figure it out.
Yeah.
You leave it there. Like, I really hope he stays
Good luck.
because I hope he has a plan.
Yeah. I mean, the way this episode ended, there has to be a plan for what's next. It can't just be like, okay, good luck to anyone else. But hopefully
great regeneration, by the way. I love how accepting he was of it. Like,
yeah.
My time is now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. They did explain by generation a little bit. Right? Saying that this is the way of Time Lords trying to
have kids,
keep alive or keep the lineage going. So
yeah, but he couldn't by generate. He had to regenerate.
Mm-hmm. All right, The Last of Us, OT. 2 episodes we haven't talked about. We'll go through them quick. As if we can. Episode 6, 2 weeks ago, might be my favorite of the season. The flashback with Joel and Ellie. Very emotional all the way through. I love that they broke, and maybe something that I'll complain when I talk about episode 7. It wasn't cliches when it started with them as younger brothers, with him and Tommy, and the drunk dad that's gonna come and beat them up. And like, here we go. We always have to show the dad that beats him up. The Cad Bane out there, deadbeat dad. But I love that his dad went just grabbed a beer, gave it to him. Hey, I didn't tell you my story, and not to let you know this is one gonna hit you. It's like, if you have a son later, I hope you do a little better than me. Like, okay, they didn't do that cliche thing. The way he brought it back all the way at the end, and I know I'm jumping the whole episode, but when he's having that conversation with aliens, he's like, I can't believe you did this. You're just selfish. We could have saved everyone. You didn't let me choose. And he went with the same line as he's breaking down. I'm like, God damn it. Okay, it worked. It got me. And then with her response, I also love that I'm not going to be able to forgive you for this, but I'm going to try. I'm like, okay, I loved it also. It didn't end with we ended in a fight. I hate him. Was the last thing I said was I hate him. So I love that we got that little. There's still love there, even though at that moment they were a little bit angry with each other, or more her with him.
They change a lot there. That's not how Ellie finds out in the game. She finds out like months earlier. She runs off to Utah, sees everything. Joel gets there, and she's like, "I'm gonna give you like one last chance to tell me the truth." And then, so what's interesting is that scene in the porch is a mixture of that scene that I'm talking about in Utah and the last scene of the game. The entire game, you think that the relationship is completely broken, and then at the last scene is them in the porch and being like, you know what, we should try to be friends again because like that's better than being in a fight. So it was devastating in the game. So I'll be honest, Alberto, I love this episode, the flashback thing. I think it was a mistake to have it in this season.
Okay,
I would have left it for earlier because I have a big issue
or
with
later
for next season. I would have left it.
All right. Again, as someone that hasn't played the game, I didn't mind the placement.
You know what? I think I can get into my big issue with the season because I realized that as this episode started, when I knew where it was going. In the game, Ellie kills so many people to get to Abby, but so many people, and you see her do horrible things to you see what she does to Jesse, but she's horrible to Dina. She really loses you. You're like, what the fuck is wrong with this? Like, I know they killed Joe, but come on. And when Abby comes in, cut to black, and then you have to play her story, you're like kind of relieved because you're like, oh my God, I can't take any more of that. So I feel like the show missed on that. Like you don't really see her descent into insanity, and so that was like I still really like the finale, but that spine I was like
So it's funny because when you watch the the making of that they do at the end of the episode, it kind of seems like the creators wanted to paint her as this person that does a lot of bad things, and they talk about the heroes and villains and good guys and bad guys. It's not always the person that you think it is, but you don't feel that during the series or even the season or this last episode.
Apart from that scene from Nora, like.
But even when she pulls a trigger, it looks like she didn't want to. Like she and kills a guy and then tries to. I mean, Nora, like 3 episodes.
Nora.
Yeah. So, yeah, that was pretty bad. But anyway, she deserved it.
Like
okay.
In the game, the first Abby friend she kills, she looks him in the eyes and she's like, "You can't stop this." And it's like, oh shit.
But it doesn't seem like she goes through that, because apart from Nora, she doesn't really kill anyone that isn't trying to kill her. And I didn't feel that with her. I just thought I tried to not like the character, not because she was a bad person, but some of the decisions she was making seemed like, oh no, we gotta go back. We got a baby now. And oh no, there's the whale and the wheel. I gotta go do this. Like
it felt very inconsistent.
Yeah, and like, why? It doesn't make sense. You just said you were going back. Some of the issues I have with the Acolyte and some of their decisions, but it's like it doesn't make sense indeed to happen in one episode back to back to back. That's like, why?
That's why I hate. I would have taken out that Pedro Pascal episode, leave it for next season, bring him back, and have like something else with Ellie going crazy. Because. Yeah, I didn't feel the emotional weight I felt playing the game. Every time I play that game, when I get to that moment with Abby, I'm like, okay, thank God. Like, let's switch it up. Yeah. So yeah, I don't see how. Well, there's still something left that I think they can drive home the path Ellie is on, but I think they missed a really big opportunity.
Yeah. All right, I gotta end it quick because I gotta go pick up my daughter. But all in all, I was starting to like Jesse when he said, "Oh, I gotta stay alive because I also have a kid." I'm like, "Oh, you're dead."
Yep.
So when they opened the door, he got shot in the face. And even though we got the fade to black at the end, and for someone who hasn't played it, it's pretty obvious that no, that's Dina's the one that's gonna make the shot. She didn't kill her right there.
That happens in the game in the same way. So.
And I don't know if I want to watch a whole season from Abby's perspective. We'll see how it happens. But I think they're trying to, even though I said they didn't fall into cliches with episode 6, and I love that now they're trying to, I'm going to subvert everyone's expectation, what the show should be. Ha ha ha. And I think it's going to not work, but
in the show's defense, it happens in the same way in the game, and there was a lot of backlash because people were like, "I don't want to play as Abby." I will say, I love Abby's story. Like she goes through some weird. I mean, didn't you see the thing on the neck? She goes through some weird things. And if you're open to it, then I think you might like what the story has to say. If you hate her for what she did, you're gonna see the 3 worst days in Abby's life.
I don't hate her. I mean, she's a character, and she did what she had to do. So I don't hate the character for killing Joel. I think that's stupid. They're just people that love Pedro Pascal and don't want him to leave. I'm like, okay, she's been the bad guy for the whole season. Now we gotta see things from her perspective and see her quote unquote humanity, which we keep using this episode. And again, just give me that.
This is a show about humanity, though.
Yeah, just give me the season, and I'll complain next time.
I'll just say I really like Abby's story, so I am excited to see how it plays out. But I am disappointed in how it ended. But there's still more to Ellie's story, so don't jump off the show yet.
No, I'm not. If I won't.
There's still some crazy things to happen.
All right, with that, we'll leave. I don't know why I kept that Tales on the Underworld thing just scrolling by. Doesn't matter. All right, well, thanks to everyone that joined us today. Everyone that was in the chat, having a lot of fun out there. Sorry that we took your comments out of context and made fun of everything, but 2 great shows. Yeah, 2 great shows just ended. We'll see what's next. All right, Oti, we'll see you maybe next week. I don't know. We'll figure something out. You won't be here next week. I don't know.
Probably not the other week. We'll talk.
There's nothing going on right now, so we'll figure something out. But thanks, everyone. We'll see you next time. So again, Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss when the episodes drop. Oti, I finished Trials of the Jedi. The High Republic is over.
Are you happy?
I am very happy.
Okay.
See you next